Thanks, Luis. She usually talks for our team, so thank you for letting me speak today. It was kind of a surprise. I came here because I was interested in the water initially, like Luis said. I'm going to talk to you about molecular hydrogen and why it's such a unique antioxidant. Before I begin, I just want to do a disclaimer. We're not doctors. This is just for informational purposes only. So what brought me here is, this is my agenda. I'm going to talk a little bit about my background and what brought me here. Then I'm going to share how H2 is made, specifically in ionizers. It's made other ways, but we distribute ionizers, so I'm going to focus on that. And then talk a little bit about why H2 is unique, and then its effects specifically on oxidative stress. And so the reason I'm here and I'm talking to you about molecular hydrogen is because about 15 years ago, I started focusing on kind of holistic health. And that really started for me with an interest in agroecology. I have a master's in agroecology, and I'm interested in permaculture. And I had a strong interest in nutrition and where good nutrition actually came from. And as many of you know, organic food production really ups the nutritional value. And so we started growing food in our backyard. Then we kind of we had a small market garden. We sold on an online farmer's market in California. And so that's kind of how I got on this journey of looking for natural wellness. And then as the years went by, we started trying to incorporate bit by bit elements into our life that just promoted natural health. A few years ago, probably about 8 years ago, we installed an RO system in our house, and little by little, my daughter's teeth started to get cavities, and we started to see different things happening. So we started to take my daughter, that's her right there, Aubrey. We started taking her to a biological dentist, and one of the first things she asked is if we had an RO system in our house. And so we told her, yeah, we just got this really expensive system, and one thing led to another, and we took that out. So we went down this road of remineralizers and filters and getting all that stuff, and realizing that it was just we were kind of coming to a dead end. And then I came across ionizers, and I found out that not all water is created equal. Just because we purify water doesn't mean it's necessarily as good as it gets. And so when I started doing the research on ionizers, I just realized, like, wow, this is great. It's inspired by what's happening in nature. So naturally reduced water, we're creating electrolyzed reduced water here with our ionizers, but it's inspired by research done on naturally reduced water, which occurs in abundance in different areas of the world. So that's why I'm here, and sharing this information here with you all is the other reason that I'm here. So how is H2 made? How is molecular hydrogen made within our system? So you can get molecular hydrogen by saline, and you can get it by gas, inhaling it with gas. But those two are very difficult to do on a daily basis. So with our systems, if you were to crack open an ionizer, you would see eight plates, platinum-coated titanium plates. Half of those are positively charged, and half of those are negatively charged. So when water comes into the system, it travels over these anodes and cathodes. When it travels over the negatively charged plate, electrons are donated to the water molecules, and it pops off a hydrogen. So it becomes a neutrally charged hydrogen atom. When you get 2 electrons donated to 2 water molecules, it pops off 2 neutral hydrogen atoms. It forms a diatomic molecular hydrogen atom, and that's molecular hydrogen, and that's what we found in the research on ionizers. For the longest time, researchers were trying to figure out what the kind of active ingredient in ionized water, and what it's looking like right now is that H2 is really the superpower molecular hydrogen, because one of the reasons is because it's such a strong antioxidant. And so H2 is selective, molecular hydrogen is selective. Specifically, it targets the hydroxyl radical and peroxynitrite, which is a reactive nitrogen species. Both super harmful free radicals, so it's kind of cool that molecular hydrogen goes after these two. So with hydroxyl radical specifically, molecular hydrogen uses its 2 electrons to bind to 2 hydroxyl radicals. And when it does that, it creates water molecules. So then it can be eliminated from the body, which is pretty cool. H2 is also super small. It's 2 atomic mass units. Hydrogen is the smallest element. You can kind of see here, H2 is that little green dot up in the top left-hand corner, and then you can see kind of how it's compared to like CoQ10. CoQ10 has a molecular weight of 863. So what that means, molecular hydrogen has a neutral charge, and it's also very small, so it has the ability to pass through many biological membranes, which is something that a lot of other antioxidants don't have the capability to do. That's including the blood-brain barrier and cellular barriers. So if we look a little bit closer at what H2 does within the cell, here's a graphic of the electron transfer chain within the mitochondria. So the electron transfer chain charges the production of ATP. And normally what happens in those first 2 sections of the of the electron transfer chain is they pull electrons from oxygen in the cell. And when they pull electrons from the oxygen, it creates reactive oxygen species as a byproduct. So it creates free radicals as a byproduct. When we introduce H2 or molecular hydrogen into the cell, it does 2 things. One, it charges those first 2 complexes, so it essentially helps to create energy in the body, and it also neutralizes any reactive oxygen species that are occurring as a byproduct. So it can get in there to the source, and it can also support energy production. It's so kind of lastly here, when you have an overabundance of free radicals in the body, as many of you know, it leads to oxidative stress. And so oxidative stress can contribute to and can be caused by different diseases in the body, as many of you probably know. So a few of these are Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. H2, like I said, can cross the blood-brain barrier to support the neutralization of free radicals in the central nervous system. It can support anti-cell death with kidney disease, early stage fibrosis, it can attenuate kind of inflammation and other things that come along with fibrosis, and then cirrhosis. And then it can also neutralize free radicals, can negatively affect the DNA, cause mutations, so molecular hydrogen also supports that from not happening. And so these are my references. There's a lot of other research that's being done out there on molecular hydrogen. Scavenging of free radicals is not the only thing that we can do, but things like inflammation and all that stuff, those are whole other rabbit holes that would take too long to go down. But we also challenge people to do their own research. If you're looking for search terms, it's molecular hydrogen, electrolyzed reduced water, and ionizers. So if you have any other questions, please come and see us at the booth. We have water bottles that we're giving, water bottles for sale for $5. So you buy the water bottle, you can fill up with Kangen water all weekend long. We're all distributors. We do partner with practitioners and chiropractors on a pretty regular basis. We develop marketing material and support, your use of these systems should you buy them. So come see us at our booth. Yeah. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.